Can you believe this? There was once a crocodile on Earth bigger than a Tyrannosaurus rex. Not just a little bigger, by a lot. The largest T-Rex specimen reached about 13.6 meters, already the ceiling for land predators. But this crocodile? It was close to 15 meters long, weighing over 10 tons. Standing in front of it, a T-Rex would look like an underdeveloped little brother. But here's the twist. It gets even crazier. They would never meet, because by the time this creature disappeared, the T-Rex hadn't even been born yet. They were separated by a full 15 million years. This monster is called Deinosuchus. Its name in Greek literally means terrible crocodile. Honestly, the name already says everything. But did you know? It had another nickname, the ancient death roll machine. Because it hunted exactly like modern crocodiles, biting its prey and then spinning violently, tearing it apart alive. Except at this scale, that motion became an industrial-level execution. Scientists have found its bite marks on the bones of hadrosaurs, not marks from scavenging, but from attacking living prey. Deinosuchus would lie perfectly still by the riverbank. The moment a dinosaur approached the water, one bite, straight through the neck, dragging it underwater. No struggle, no counterattack, not even time to scream. This wasn't hunting, this was execution. So how did such a monster evolve? To answer that, we need to start with how it was discovered, and honestly, it's almost funny. In 1858, in North Carolina, USA, a geologist unearthed several enormous fossilized teeth. How big were they? Each one was as thick as an adult human's fist, with deep grooves like some kind of industrial component. At the time, scientists guessed they belonged to some large marine reptile, and then filed them away. Forgotten. For nearly 50 years. Until 1903, when paleontologists in Montana uncovered massive fossil plates. At first, they thought they belonged to armored dinosaurs, but something felt off. The bone structure didn't match any dinosaur. It looked more like a crocodile, scaled up dozens of times. The more they studied it, the colder their spines felt. In 1909, Deinosuchus was officially named, and its true terror began to unfold. Let's talk size. There were 3 to 4 species of Deinosuchus. Even the smallest reached over 8 meters, about the size of a bus. The largest approached 15 meters and weighed over 10 tons. For comparison, the largest crocodile alive today, the saltwater crocodile, averages about 5 meters and half a ton. Deinosuchus was about 8 times larger. Standing in front of it, a modern crocodile would look like a lizard. But size isn't the scariest part. Its head is. Its skull measured 1.5 to 1.7 meters, longer than a T-Rex skull. Inside its jaws were dozens of teeth, each the size of a banana, sharp tips, thick roots, like rows of steel spikes. But the real nightmare? The teeth at the back of its mouth. Short, rounded, blunt. Not for cutting, for crushing. These were designed to smash bones, grinding flesh and skeleton together, leaving nothing behind. So how strong was its bite? Scientists estimate over 100,000 newtons. To put that into perspective, it's like 10 tons of force concentrated at a single point. One bite could crush steel pipes. That's twice the bite force of a T-Rex. So what did it eat? Dinosaurs. In Texas, fossils of hadrosaur tail vertebrae were found with clear bite marks, perfectly matching Deinosuchus teeth. In Utah, a dinosaur fossil was discovered with a broken Deinosuchus tooth embedded inside the bone. That proves one thing. It wasn't scavenging. It was actively hunting dinosaurs. Even more disturbing, bite marks have been found on large carnivorous dinosaurs. Yes. Even predators were prey. This leads to a terrifying conclusion. In regions where Deinosuchus ruled, carnivorous dinosaurs were noticeably smaller. Why? Because growing too large made you a target. This wasn't just competition. This was dimensional suppression. A top predator literally limiting the size of other predators. So how did it hunt? Ambush. Its eyes and nostrils sat on top of its head just like modern crocodiles. It could hide 90% of its body underwater, exposing only the top. A dinosaur comes to drink water, completely unaware. Then, explosion. It lunges like a spring, clamps onto the neck or limb, and triggers the death roll, spinning violently, tearing the body apart. A multi-ton dinosaur in its jaws was just a chicken. Could anything fight back? Almost impossible. Its entire body was covered in thick armored plates called osteoderms, forming a natural heavy armor. Most dinosaur teeth couldn't even penetrate it. And it wasn't just a slow river beast. This armor also supported its weight, allowing it to move effectively on land. But it had one fatal weakness. It grew too slowly. Fossil growth rings show that Deinosuchus needed 35 years to reach adulthood. Modern crocodiles? About 10 to 15 years. That's 2 to 3 times slower. Which means a long, vulnerable period before becoming a top predator. High risk, low reproduction rate, slow population recovery. In a stable environment, it worked, but when conditions changed, it became a death sentence. Around 73 million years ago, North America's climate shifted dramatically. The western interior seaway began to shrink. Swamps, estuaries, wetlands, its entire habitat collapsed. With it, the food chain. Even worse, fossilized feces from that period contained bones of juvenile Deinosuchus. Yes, they turned on their own. Cannibalism. The once dominant apex predator began eating its own offspring. And just like that, after ruling for nearly 10 million years, Deinosuchus vanished from the fossil record. No warning, like it was erased. Some people think Deinosuchus is the ancestor of modern crocodiles. It's not. According to recent studies, it belongs to a separate evolutionary branch, just a distant relative. Ironically, early ancestors of modern crocodiles may have once been its prey. After its extinction, hadrosaurs flourished in North America. But their time didn't last long, because a few million years later, that asteroid arrived. And Deinosuchus, this ancient terror that ruled before the T-Rex, is now nothing more than silent fossils buried beneath North America. It left us with one truth. It's not the strongest that survive, but the ones that adapt. And when the environment changes, sometimes there isn't even time to adapt. And if Deinosuchus had never gone extinct, a simple walk by the river might be one of the most dangerous things humans could do.